up, North County? We're out here promoting the 28th Annual Atascadero Wine Fest out here at Tolo Cellars, and we're going to chat with Gail a little bit to find out what's left. You got 1 week left.
1 week left. We're just finalizing the map today. We've got 65 wineries and breweries and distilleries, cideries, and we're ready to go.
And the weather's supposed to be awesome.
Weather's supposed to be perfect.
It's
Just remember, a little hot during the day, but our evenings are great because the festival's from 4 to 8 in the evening.
And so we've got June 21st, 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
Right? Tickets right now until Saturday, the day of the event, is $75.
Right.
Okay. But the day of the event is going to be $95 if you guys have tickets left over.
If we have tickets left, they're going quick, so you better get them.
So what are some of the highlighted wineries that are going to be there? Do you know them off the top of your head?
Oh, we've got Pineta, we've got Whalebone, we've got Booker, we've got my
Tolo.
favorite neighbor, Tolo.
Tolo, right here.
Yeah, Tolo, DeBost. I could go on and on and on. We've just got a lot of variety.
I'm really excited. I know we didn't do it this year, but we're going to have to definitely do it next year, is to get Barbie Boots on. So that way we can hear about like the original, the sit down, at the table when they put this together 28 years ago.
Right. That would be a great thing to do. We need that history.
So not only is it going to be wine, I mean, you're also going to have beer. You're going to also have distilleries.
Right.
Right? There's going to be food there.
There's going to be food. You can purchase food. We have commercial vendors that are selling anything from jewelry to honey to sauces to artwork,
everything,
olive oil, yes.
And the zoo's going to be open as well.
The zoo is open from through the festival, and we'll have wineries in there as well.
So the wineries will be pouring inside the zoo as well.
Right, it's our roll and pour.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there's the beneficiary of this is the zoo, right?
That's right. Proceeds from this do go to the zoo. So, and there's a lot of changes with the zoo.
Right, their new name.
New name. Central Coast Zoo.
Yeah, Central Coast Zoo.
And we've got, a new zoo director. She's awesome. So she really wants to move things forward.
And, I just want to reiterate the fact that it's a big, big wine fest. Not only is it out in the park underneath the natural shade, you're inside the zoo, and then you guys are off to the side as well, and then up top, kind of closer going up towards the pavilion as well.
No, we've kind of cut out that because that gets really hot up there. But we do have the band up at the bandstand. Bring your low back chairs, bring a blanket, sit down and relax and enjoy the music. Grab your taste of wine. We just say no outside food or alcohol.
Okay. What are some of the things that you guys are still needing? Are you guys still needing volunteers?
We could still use a few volunteers, especially during the event, and cleanup. Because by the end of the day, we're all pretty...
Right, you get pooped out.
Right.
But there's some benefits to that, to helping. Not only do you get the benefit of helping community event, there's also some extra perks.
Right. If you do volunteer, and we only ask for 2 hours, but you get a free ticket to the event. If you do cleanup, we give you a wine tasting passport that covers all of the North County.
Oh, wow.
And that's about a $75 value.
Right. If I remember right, that gives you about 60 different wineries with no tasting fees.
That's right.
So it's much more than $75 as far as just tasting fees.
Right. Oh, yeah. Because we've got some great wineries in that one.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to talk to Josh a little bit about, the history of this. I mean, we got like an old potbelly stove over here. We've got an old refrigerator over here. We've got an old oven over here. I mean, this is literally like a farmhouse.
Well, he said it was built in, 18 something?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's just, it's crazy.
It's a beautiful place.
So beautiful. And it's a beautiful drive out here. And, the wines, I mean, we got some wine here too.
Well,
get ready for a wine fest.
That's the challenge. If you have to test it more business.
And this is, oh my gosh, this is their Zinfandel.
Oh.
So Gail, I know you're a big wine person because you put on some good events. What is your favorite out here?
Jeez. Just depends on the winery. I mean, I'm more of a white wine person.
Oh, really?
Than a red wine person.
But
I'm learning to enjoy the red wines.
See, it's funny because people say that summer's for whites, when it's cold, winter time's for reds. I don't know if I really play into that game.
I don't either. You either like it or you don't.
Since we've been a part of the Wine Fest for the last couple of years and getting to try some different, wines from different wineries and makers and stuff like that, I'm building a liking, which, for the taste, and I can really tell a difference of, say if we had, 5 or 6 different Zinfandels from different wineries, there's different tastes, I guess, based on where they are grown.
Right. Where they're grown, how they're produced, how they're stored, it all makes a big difference.
And everybody has their favorites.
Right.
Here, in Paso Robles, I think we have, in the upwards of, 350 plus wineries or tastings. Amazing.
Haven't tried them all, trust me.
Well, we could give that a try.
We could start at the top of the list, right? No.
Make a little checklist, like
Yeah.
a little route, little trail,
Right.
check them off as you go. Like they have on the back of like the RVs that are traveling all over the country that they put the state on that they visited.
But just remember, if you come to the wine festival, you're going to hit 65 on them.
There you go.
So
you'll be able to taste all of them right there in one location and not have to drive all around to these.
That's right.
Although it's a beautiful drive out here, you don't have to drive all over the North County to get here.
That's right. So.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited for the wine festival on Saturday. I can't wait. We're going to be broadcasting it live, so you can check out all the different winemakers and breweries, and we're going to have all kinds of people on and hear about their story, because we heard some really cool stories of some of the ones last year that I'm looking forward to kind of tapping onto that and,
see how they progressed. And
hearing a little bit more about the story, because we only have 3 or 4 minutes or whatever, but there's such a bigger story, so I'm looking forward to having Josh on here and hearing about the Tolo Cellars out here. So
okay, well, let's
awesome.
get him out here and when he has a moment. And look forward to you guys coming out next Saturday,
Sounds
21st,
good.
from 4 to 8 p.m.
Yeah. All right. Hey, we're gonna get Josh on here, and we're gonna hear a little bit more about the Tolo Cellars and this awesome Zinfandel that we're drinking right now. Hey, welcome back, guys. We're out here at Tolo Cellars here, and we got Josh. He's going to tell us a little bit about this amazing property, this old house. You got the old potbelly stove over here, and about these delicious wines that we're trying.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad you guys made it out. This is kind of a neat property out here. We've had a really good time being out here. Feel very fortunate to be here. Tolo Cellars started as a side project for me almost 25 years ago. I took a random weekend job working for the Cuvier Winery and fell in love with the business, and was very fortunate to go to work for a guy and who was an amazing teacher.
Really?
Learn a lot. Yeah, asked a lot of questions. Learned the process. Started very slowly making wines and built up inventory, and eventually got the tasting room up and running about 20 years or so ago. And like I said, just feel very fortunate to be here. So,
were you always, in the wine making? Even on a side hustle type thing?
Not at all. No, I went to school at Santa Barbara and then eventually Cal Poly San Luis Obispo there, and started to enjoy wines. I'd go wine tasting, I'd find things that I liked and sort of realize the things that I didn't. And then one random Wednesday night at a little wine bar in downtown Paso, I ran into a wine that just blew me away. It was Le Cuvier's 95 Cab Franc, and absolutely fell in love with this wine. And 2 days later, ran into the owner and winemaker and asked him about it. And just through the course of that conversation, this whole thing sort of snowballed. So
No kidding.
yeah.
And so you came out here as a side job,
Right.
Mm-hmm. And now this is your home.
Absolutely.
This is your winery.
Yeah.
This is your tasting room. This is everything.
Yeah. It's a great area to be. Paso Robles overall is just such an amazing community. It's a gorgeous place to be. But we love being out here. We're just about 12 miles outside of town, so far enough out that it's it's peaceful and it's quiet and it's dark and it's all the things that are important to us. You have gardening your chickens and just love being out here. Just with the rolling hills and the sort of the microclimates we have around the hills here and the proximity to the coast and the nature of the soils is just very, very well suited for wines and for wine grapes. So
tell me how does that affect being so far out here? Mm-hmm. It is hot, but then it gets cold,
right?
And then you get a lot of the moisture from this side of the coast coming in. How does that affect the grapes?
It's a great thing. I mean, some of the greatest vineyards in the world are in climates very similar to this. We have, like you say, you have those nice daytime highs. It cools off very nicely at night, and it allows you to leave the fruit on the vine a little bit longer, sort of reach those levels of physiological maturity where you have the best flavors that you can get, the most complex flavors that you're able to develop with that length of time. You're able to hang the fruit, which I think is such an important part of the process, that, like I say, that physiological ripeness.
Wow. Has the different weather elements that we've experienced over the last 5 years, does that take a toll on you guys in different ways, good or bad?
Yeah, I mean, it does. Even our bad years are still good years. I mean, at the end of the day, this is, we're spoiled rotten. I mean, certainly you have years that are better than others. Those challenging years, they're always stressful. They're certainly stressful on the vines. They're definitely stressful on the growers and the winemakers. But at the end of the day, we're very fortunate. Our bad years are still good years. And if you're disciplined and maintain good practices in the vineyard, you still have the potential to grow good fruit. So.
And would you guys be considered like a small case winery?
Very. Yeah,
okay.
We're about 1,000 cases a year.
Okay.
So definitely, in the grand scheme of things, we're pretty small. Keeps us busy though. It's just myself and my wife, just the two of us, and lots of friends and family. But yeah, it's certainly plenty to keep us busy.
What was your first wine? What is the first one that you came out with?
So the first wine I made, again, I took that random weekend job working for Le Cuvier, and the first year I crushed a ton of Sangiovese and a ton of Zinfandel, and realized very early on I should have done 2 tons of one or the other, and not a ton of each, because a ton of grapes for me it's a relatively inconvenient size, lot of wine. So started playing around with the blends. So the first wine that we bottled was a 2000 Sangiovese Zinfandel blended wine we call Assini.
Oh wow! And so, can you still produce that?
Yeah, that's one of the wines we do make every year.
Okay.
It's always one of our popular wines. It's a good seller. It's a really neat wine. You don't see a lot of Sangiovese Zinfandel blends, but this is a wine that to me makes very good sense. Sangiovese has that nice acid structure. Zin has that nice fruit, so they sort of have what the other wants, what the other needs. Fantastic food wine. There's always nice complexity. It's certainly an engaging wine, but it's also something that's easy to just enjoy. You can sort of sit down and have dinner and a conversation and watch a sunset and sip and enjoy. You don't have to sort of stop what you're doing, but you can still have a good time with it.
So Josh, I asked the same question to Gail, which we had on, about like the seasons of wine and the drinking, the lights versus the reds.
Yeah.
My palate seems to like the reds.
Sure.
And so everybody says during the summertime you should be drinking the whites. You put ice on it or whatever. But it's like, is that really a thing?
I think one of the most important things about wine is just drink things you enjoy. So yeah, if you want to have a Chardonnay with your filet mignon, do it. If you want to have a Cabernet with your salmon, do it. At the end of the day, that's the most important part of the process, is just enjoying the wines that you're drinking. There are certain, I feel like there are things that work better sometimes, in the afternoon and pasta when it's hot, before it really starts to cool down. A nice, cool, refreshing white is a nice place to begin. But whatever you enjoy.
Yeah. So we've got the Atascadero Wine Fest coming up next weekend.
Yeah.
And how long have you guys been involved with that?
That's a very good question. I'm not sure.
Okay.
A long time.
It's been a long time. Yeah. I know we've been doing the winemakers dinner on Friday, or the mayor's dinner on Friday evening for years and years, and I think one of the oldest wineries, not oldest wineries, one of the longest participating wineries in that dinner, and we've certainly been doing the wine festival at least as long. It's my favorite event in the area here. It's just, to me, it's just so approachable. That park is beautiful. The zoo is amazing, and it's always for it's just I don't know. It's what I like to see in those sorts of wine festivals. It's like I said, it's very down to earth and approachable, and family friendly, and you get a chance to have some fantastic wines and good food, and there's usually a couple of breweries there, so it's always nice to see as well. So.
Well, I also want to touch on the fact that you guys had just traveled up to the giant sequoias, and you guys just won Best of Show there. favorite winery, right?
We did, yeah. That was a lot of fun. That's a really another just neat event. We like doing those kind of the smaller festivals and things. We have to kind of pick and choose what we're able to do, and so we try and do the events that are still, very grounded and still kind of, I think what makes wine such a special beverage is that it's something that really should be enjoyed. And some of those festivals have gotten, a little bit busier and they're not quite as, not quite as user friendly as they were in the past. So we still definitely enjoy doing the ones that still kind of, work well with our approach to things.
So Josh, when you go to like out of town festivals like that, do you find when a Paso Robles wine comes into the area, it kind of gives that, oh no, we got Paso Robles here. You know what I'm saying, amongst the locals.
I'm not sure. Paso has really grown and it's matured and it's grown up, and it's a very serious wine region. I mean, there's amazing wines coming out of Paso, and I put our wines up against any other wines in the world, really. And so it really is nice to see. It's nice to see the area getting that recognition, and it is always neat to see when Paso wines are represented at different events in different areas. So
now, are you just a solo wine, not a solo wine drinker, but I mean, do you also kind of deviate from that, like the whiskeys and?
Oh, of course, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what is one of your favorites?
Whiskeys.
Yeah.
I enjoy beer. I like a good, cool beer.
Yeah. From some of our local breweries.
Absolutely, yeah. Firestone's doing great beers. There's so many good options, on the Central Coast. And same with the distilleries. There's some really good spirits coming out of the area now as well. So it's nice to see, yeah.
What would you say the number wise? Because this is one of the older wineries that, in Paso area.
Yeah.
How many do you think there are?
Wineries?
350.
Yeah, I feel like 350 is probably the number I've heard most recently. There's definitely a lot of wineries that are older than we are. Like, so we've been here about 25 years. There's a lot of wineries that have been around a lot longer than us and have had such a huge influence on us and so many wineries as you guys started. I know
it's a lot.
25 years sounds like a long time, but again, there's so many people who've been doing this for so long, so many people that I look up to. So,
that kind of brings me to another question. Who are some of your mentors?
So certainly John Munch at Le Cuvier was he was had the biggest impact on me. When I first went to work for him, Steve Goldman was working with him, who had York Mountain, and later I think Tolo Cellars, I think was the name of his label. Neil Collins at Talbot's Creek in Lone Drone, just absolutely amazing. Love Bob Dunning. There's so many people around here that are just incredible mentors. People that, and in general, I think the wine industry is like that. If you have a question, ask somebody, and people will help you. And for a long time, I mean, there was always resources available. There was always people around that you could talk to and ask. And a lot of people who made amazing wines for a really long time. So
awesome. Well, Josh, I'm looking forward to chatting more at the Wine Fest.
Absolutely.
And hearing a little bit more and drinking a little bit more wine and looking forward to that event next weekend.
Sounds good. Me too.
All right, guys. Hey, we're out here at Tolo Cellars. We joined a beautiful bottle of Zinfandel out here. Guys, get out here. Real quick, you guys have a special this month where no tasting fees.
Yeah, for the month of June and July, we're doing no tasting fees, no reservations required. We're open Thursday through Sunday. We can be around other days if you give us a call. But yeah, we're trying to go back to, what people fell in love with in Paso was just sort of exploring and finding new things and
stumbling on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. All right, guys. Hey, we are getting ready for the 28th Annual Atascadero Wine Fest next weekend, the 21st. Starts at 4 o'clock. Tickets right now are $75, okay? If you guys show up on that day, if there's tickets available, it's going to be $90. So get your tickets now. Get out there. Come have fun. Come see me. Come see Josh. Come taste all these awesome wines out here in the North County and beyond. But we're going to see you guys out there at the Atascadero Wine Fest. And thanks for watching What's Up North County.